Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truck.Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's going on? What's up? Man, long time no see. Long time no see. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm back. What's going on? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. All right, episode 7, After Dark with Mark. I know the space been kind of boring. I disappeared. So when I disappeared, the talking points disappeared. You dig what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna make content. All right, I'm gonna make content so people can have talking points to talk about. All right, we're gonna react to some content because that's what After Dark with Mark is about. It's a reaction show. So we got a few things that we're gonna react to. All right. One is something that happened a few days ago, last week. Very popular down in Austin. I was away. It was my girl's birthday, so I was not available last week. But we're gonna catch up. This is something that we're gonna talk about, and I feel like that whole thing that happened down in Austin is something that I should talk about on the Late Show, because I'm gonna get my thoughts off, and some people may not agree with what I'm gonna have to say, but it's the truth. It is what it is. All right, so come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Shout out to Box Truck Tone, Kelvin Birch, Roger Lacey. All right, first thing I want to react to is this Jamaican delivery nasty crib thing. All right, this happened, I guess, a month ago. It started to go viral. I just didn't get a chance to do it, give my reaction to it, but I got time tonight, so we're gonna react to it tonight. Here we go. Let's start from the beginning.
Boss, most I can do is drop this washer off to you.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I said the most I can do
Yeah.
is drop this washer off to you.
No, you're not going to drop no frickin' washer off to me.
Look,
You
man.
take it back to, you can take it back to your company, and I'll tell them you refuse to take out the old one and bring in the new one. How about that? It suits your ass.
That's better.
Okay?
Look at this place, man. You don't see the car outside cleaner than the house?
You guys came with bad attitude in the first
Look at the
place.
car. Look at the car. The car cleaner than the house, man. You need to clean the house. Can't work that.
Why do Jamaicans always get personal? If I was here, if I was at this dude crib,
Take it back to, you can take
let's go back to it. Let's go back to it.
Boss, most I can do is drop this washer off to you.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I said the
Now, an old white guy couldn't understand the Jamaican dialect. That's why he said, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you said, boss. He couldn't understand the Jamaican tongue. Now, I get why the Jamaican guy, I don't know, this might be like Kirk Cousin or some shit like that. Probably related to Kirk or maybe Ricardo, some shit like that. I don't know. But I understand why the Jamaican guy did want to deliver the washer and dryer, or just the washer, into the man crib. I mean, look at this place. It's fucking filthy. Listen, I wouldn't even walk this far into the crib. As soon as I walked into the living room and seen how nasty the shit was, I would have turned around and went back out the door. Because shit like this, it's shit probably crawling in there, lice, fucking bed bugs. You don't know. I'm not walking all the way through this crib. There's no way in hell I would even made it that far through the crib.
Most I can do
Yeah.
is drop this washer off to you.
No, you're not gonna drop no frickin' on.
You're not gonna drop no freaking washer off. Listen here, boy. You're not finna drop no freaking washer. See, he thought it was back in the day. See, he thought it was back in the day. You're not gonna freaking drop no washer off to me. Listen what he said. Pay attention.
Just drop this washer off to you.
No, you're not gonna drop no frickin' on.
Yeah, he thought it was back in the day.
Look,
You
man.
can take it back to your company.
No, look at this crib, bro. Look at this shit.
Look,
Look at this shit.
man.
Look at this shit. This is filthy. This is disgusting. All right, so now I'm a final amount I'm moving, guys. So let's get to the business side of it. First of all, in order for him to drop the washer and dryer off or the washer off, he would have needed a clear path. All right. Clearly, there's no clear path. So strike one. All right.
You can take it back to your company, and I'll tell them you refuse to take out the old one.
He makes his turn. Obviously, the entryway that he came through is the way that the washer would have had to come through. There's no clear path. It's not up to the delivery guy to clear the path. This is something that the homeowner should have already had done prior and anticipating the delivery. You know you got a delivery coming in. You know the delivery crew is going to need a clear path. This is something that should have been done prior to the delivery. So outside of the aspect of the house being fucking disgusting, it wasn't a clear path. There wasn't a clear path because you had junk all in the way, which made the house disgusting. And there's no telling what's in all of that shit.
Bring in the new one.
You know,
Suit your ass.
that's better.
Okay?
Look at this place, man. You don't see the car outside cleaner than the house?
Now, see, all this extra shit, me personally, when I would have walked in the house and I would have seen all that shit, I would have turned around and said, look, we can drop it at the curb. I can bring it to your doorstep, and that's it. I'm not going to get personal with the dude. I don't got time to say, look at this house. I don't got time to be saying, look, man, the car's cleaner than the house. I don't really care. All that extra shit, me personally, I'm not with it. I'm not finna go back and forth. Clearly, it's an old white guy. There's no telling. You know what I'm saying? This guy could be a widower. There could be things that have affected this guy in life, which has caused him not to want to clean up. He could want to leave the house the way it was, maybe when his wife died, and he, just has been accumulating stuff over the course of the years since he's been a widow. It could be other things. I'm just naming something that, I got a homie who, he lost a loved one. He lost his mother. And when he took over his mom's house, the house just accumulated things. He doesn't want to change anything in the house. You think his mom was still there and still alive. He hasn't changed anything in the house, and he's just been accumulating shit on top of it. So sometimes death can take a toll on people, and they just don't change things, and then they just hoard things, and it just accumulates. Now, in this guy's situation, it looks like a combination of hoarding and just filthiness. There's no cleanliness there. But me personally, as the final mile delivery driver, I don't think it was right of him to get personal. Just say, look, I'm going to refuse the delivery. This is the best I can do. I'm going to call in the dispatch. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to send it into my dispatch. I'm going to say, this is the reason we're not making the delivery. There's no clear path. I'm going to give the customer the offer. I'm going to say, listen, we can either leave it at the doorstep or you can request a redelivery. I'm not going to be going back and forth.
You guys came with bad attitude first.
Look at the car. Look at the car. The car cleaner than the house, man. You need to clean the house. Can't work that.
I mean, it's a Cadillac. It's a Cadillac. That's So you gotta keep it clean. You gotta keep it clean, Pep. But at the end of the day, that's not something that you say to a customer. I mean, we don't know why this guy could have some type of disability or something. You see what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make here is, even though we see it, you still have to maintain some level of professionalism, because we don't know if there's some type of underlying issue why this guy wants to live in a pigsty. All right? All right, come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. All right. Shout out to Roger Lacey. What's up? I ain't gonna lie, Mark. When you don't go live or post YouTube, like, come on, man. You know what it is. You know what it is already. You dig what I'm saying? What's up, Chris P? Let me see. You said because personal hits deep and we speak the truth. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so boom. That was a little quick little warm up, because I know I might be a little rusty. You dig what I'm saying? I might be a little rusty, and I don't want to really get too deep into that. But let's get into this Austin thing. All right. So the Austin thing was something that Kirk wanted to talk about it yesterday on the Wiseman, but I was just busy prior to Monday, and I really didn't have a chance to really deep dive into what happened. Obviously, I seen in the headlines, but I really wanted to get some understanding of it. So I really didn't want to talk about it yesterday. All right. So I've educated myself on it. I watched some content on it. I've listened to other people react to it. I've seen some other people react to it. So what I want to do is I want to play Bonehead Truckers rant on it. And then our good friend, Mr. CDL Shorty reacted and responded to the Bonehead Truckers rant. So then we're going to react to that as well. And then I want to give my 2 cents. I'm going to give my 2 cents on this tragedy. And I'm not going to keep you guys here long tonight. All right, because it's kind of late and I just don't feel like talking for 3 hours tonight. So I'm going to try to do an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I'm going to get out of here. And then my allergies are messing with me. So for those that don't know, there was a foreign guy, who killed 5 people down in Austin. I think one of the people that were killed was an infant. Guy didn't speak any English. Definitely a foreigner. He was pulling an Amazon trailer. Ironically, he was pulling an Amazon trailer. If you follow the channel, you know how I am about how that I have that I'm hard on Amazon. I'm very hard on Amazon, but I'm an investor. I am an investor, so therefore I have a right to critique Amazon. All you Amazon Relay guys, you cannot tell me that I cannot talk about Amazon, because I own shares of Amazon, so I am an investor. I have a right to talk about a company that I own shares in. Cannot tell me what I can and can't talk about. Now be careful out there on the road tonight. All right? Y'all be careful out there. Now listen, the guy was pulling an Amazon trailer, and it's crazy how so many people that are involved with Amazon seem to be having the most fatalities over the road. You don't really see that with UPS. You don't really see that with FedEx. Now, I know this guy was driving for a company, a smaller company, but that's besides the point, all right? Some people say, oh, these guys are foreigners. They can't speak English. They shouldn't be driving. I agree with. But then we need to get to the root of the problem. Why are these guys driving? See, this is what nobody wants to talk about. And then when people talk about it, they dance around the fact of why these companies are hiring people. But at the end, once we review both of these videos, I want to tell you why. And the answer isn't shocking. It's just people don't want to talk about it. If you look at trucking 30 years ago, If you look at trucking 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a lot has changed. And the answer is not hard. It's just people want to dance around it. So let's get into this bonehead trucker rant, and then we're gonna react to it, and then we're gonna go react to Mr. CDL Shorty, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let's start it right here.
Shut down, and its owner also runs another trucking company. St. Lot testified that he no longer drives 18-wheelers. I'm Tanya Iser. Back to you.
5 people are dead, including children, and at least 4 other people are fighting for their lives after a drunk driver caused a chain reaction crash in Austin that happened around 11:30 last night. And the man now charged with this violent accident was behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler. Fox 4 Sean Rabb in the newsroom with the story. Sean.
A sad, sad story, Clarice. That big rig driver in the Travis County Jail facing a host of charges, and he had a court date for a speeding ticket in North Texas next week. Crumpled cars, smashed SUVs, and twisted trucks sit on southbound I-35 in North Austin. Daylight reveals the deadly multiple vehicle collision Thursday night. 17 vehicles and 17 victims.
5 patients have been pronounced deceased on the scene. That includes 3 adults, 1 child, and 1 infant.
11 others transported to several Austin area hospitals. 4 adults with critical life-threatening injuries. 1 child with potentially life-threatening injuries as well. The accident scene spread over 1/10 of a mile along the interstate. Some had to be cut out of their vehicles. Krista Castro says her husband tried to get out of the way, but was hit from behind and knocked into the car in front of them. The couple traveling from Dallas to Mexico with minor injuries. Castro said there was an Amazon semi-trailer that came through, crashing into everything, everyone, and we couldn't tell if he had brakes or not. Solomon Weldakil Araya was arrested and charged with 5.
Solomon Weldakil Araya. Is that Venezuelan? Is he a Venezuelan? Is he a part of the Translengua Agua? Let me see. What is that? What is that name? Araya. Is he a Venezuelan? Araya. Is he a Venezuelan? Yeah. Let me see something real quick. It's definitely, yep, found in Venezuela. Okay, all right.
Counts of intoxication manslaughter, 2 counts of intoxication assault. The 37-year-old was driving an 18-wheeler. Weldakil Araya was supposed to be in court in Wilmer, just south of Dallas, this coming Tuesday.
Look at it. He looked worried, don't he? He looked worried. So he was drunk. He was a foreigner that's drunk that can't speak English. So he driving an 18-wheeler, tweaking, and then killed all these people.
For a 63 and a 30-mile-an-hour zone speeding ticket. An Amazon spokesperson in a statement writes, "This is a horrible tragedy, and our thoughts are with all those involved. We're looking into this further and will cooperate with law enforcement as they investigate."
Doesn't that look familiar, folks? Basically almost the same thing that FedEx said in the previous.
Bonehead trucker, a good old boy. He a good old boy trucker. He one of the last Mohican of the good old boy truckers. You can hear it in his voice. Listen to him. Listen to this guy right here, man. Listen to this
situation. I mean, listen, Amazon, FedEx, and people like this. You need to change your doggone policies. That's what you need to do. Sitting there waiting for law enforcement. How about you change how y'all do y'all's practices?
Not again. Here we are again. With so many opportunities to do better.
Zach Cahalan is with the Truck Safety Coalition, a nonprofit which advocates for victims in commercial truck crashes. He calls Thursday night's crash a tragedy.
Some folks might see this headline and think that this happens once in a blue moon. Sadly, it happens far more frequently.
He says it isn't
Oh, he's Somali. He a Somalian, so he African. Okay.
just a national crisis.
We're seeing up to 6,000 fatalities a year, which is staggering.
It's a growing problem in Texas, too, where 17% of all traffic deaths between 2013 and 2022 involved a large truck.
Within Texas, there's been a 50% increase in truck crash deaths since 2013.
You hear that? 2013? I mean, you guys have seen a rise in immigration since 2013, right? I mean, more foreigners driving trucks since 2013. I mean, man, that's a big old head scratcher, ain't it? But I'm sure he's going to go and we're not going to blame it on immigration. We're going to go and blame it on speed limiters, okay, and technology.
Cahalan says there are many reasons why, but simply put, the state isn't doing enough to stop the problem. He says enforcing the use of proven safety technologies like automatic emergency braking or speed limiters, neither of which are currently required in Texas, would be easy ways to save lives.
We know what needs to be done, and it's just not getting done.
Oh, it's not getting done. Has nothing to do with technology. It has everything to do with training people right, and enforcing our FMCSRs, and allowing immigrants driving trucks.
In a statement, Amazon says in part, this is a horrible tragedy and our thoughts are with all of those involved. The company also made a point of noting the truck driver was only driving a load for Amazon as an independent contractor. Still, Cahalan says there's also more these large corporations could do.
They do have the ability to have enhanced requirements for safety because safety has a cost.
Yeah, his idea of cost is, hey, let's go ahead and autonomize trucks and all this kind of stuff. Instead of doing it the right way, training people better and enforcing immigration laws that already exist and enforcing FMCSRs that require English.
Texas is deep in the 89th legislative session, and if you look at the priorities for the House and Senate, not a single bill involves safety on roads.
You better believe I contacted my state representative, Jay Dean, over here in East Texas, and I told him about the bill they have going on in Arkansas, right? The House bill up there in Arkansas that they're looking to pass. That we need to do the same thing here in Texas. He has not replied back to me.
Even a Senate bill titled Protecting Texas Trucking only seeks to clarify and relax liabilities for truck drivers and their employers.
We got an infant who's never gonna know what this young person could have become because of this senseless tragedy.
That's him. It's him. It's you, bro? The fuck, man? What? What happened?
He got the flip flops on. I bet you he got flip flops on. I bet you if they get a wide view of him, I bet you he got flip flops on.
I put here, so. But the traffic was there, bro. Like, there's no way you should have been. I'm a trucker myself, bro. Yeah. You're not supposed to. You were going too fast. You know, there's 2 people dead over there, and possibly 2 more, possibly 4. They're dead. They're dead. Dead? Yes, dead. Oh my goodness. They're fucking dead, bro. Because of your stupid ass shit. 2 of them are fucking dead, bro. And I don't know about the rest. Huh? I don't know about the rest. But 2 for sure. 2 for sure. Okay, when I'm calling. Who are you calling? I'm calling. Brother.
I told you got the chancletas on. I knew you had some chancletas on.
They're finna lock your ass up. Huh? They're finna lock your ass up. They're gonna lock you up. I'm lucky? They're gonna lock you up. Lock you up. Put you in handcuffs. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're gonna lock you up. That's manslaughter, bro. They're fucking dead. Subhanallah. Motherfucker, man. Talk about because somebody.
So he's Arabic. Did he say it's upon Allah? Yeah, so he's Arabic. Let's see here.
He was going fucking fast as fuck. Hey, come on, bro. Hey. He's taking off. Huh? He's taking off. The driver.
Do we see something in common here? What's the common denominator in these three accidents? We have got drivers that are not really good with English. Okay, they're from different countries coming over here, okay, and screwing stuff up. They're from these companies. They work for these companies that are fly-by-night companies, and once their safety score goes down, they close their doors and open up as another entity, and they're allowed to get away with it. All right, double brokering, which is already against the law. That's happening. This is what this is what I think we should happen. This is not an official list. I'm going to make a list, and I'm going to freaking blast it everywhere. Drivers that drives a truck in the United States of America should only be U.S. citizen. Oh, that gets so much hate. Well, I've said this on Facebook, and I got a lot of people in support of that, a lot of people that aren't. And I believe, and this is my bold statement, that truck drivers should only be United States citizens. Number 2, we need to enforce our English. Okay? Enforce English. That rule's already there. But we allow all these companies that come around, all these schools that come around and employ these people. By the way, we did a video about this not too long ago. Check out this school.
So I agree with him on the English thing. All right, I'm come from an older generation, and I remember where English was a requirement to get employment. And obviously times have changed, and those rules don't really apply like they once did. You know, once upon a time, to all you younger people, you had to speak English in order to get a job. Why I think English should be required to get any driving job in America, it doesn't necessarily have to just be trucking, just in general. Even to be a fucking Uber driver, I think you should speak English. Why? Because 1, how can you pass the rules of the road if you can't read the goddamn book? 2, how can you pay attention and how can you read the signs on the road if you can't speak or read English? So you mean to tell me someone can get a driver's license, not only a driver's license, they can get a commercial driver's license, not speak English, which means they can't read English. So you got all these signs up here that they can't read. But me, being an American citizen, speaking English, if I go to the DMV and I have to take the test, because you got to take the test every so many years, and I fail for whatever reason, they're not going to give me my shit. So how is it that they can pass this shit and get a commercial driver's license and they can't goddamn it read? The signs on the road are in English. How is this possible? How is this possible? How is it possible that someone can become a professional driver and not read or speak English, and all the signs on the road are in English? We're going to get to that in a minute.
isbarisa kambanigan oo class bixiya ku saabsan CDL-ka marka kambanigan wuxuu soo jiray ilaa 3 years hadda marka dhalinyaro waliba firfircoon oo magaratay diyaar u ah shaqada iyo macallinimada instructornimada ayaa halkan idin joogta waxay idinku barayaan ma garatay idinkoon magaaladiina.
We started this program to address the cultural gaps in the trucking industry. We offer CDL permanent courses in these specific languages. That is Arabic, that is Somali, that is Oromo, and that is English.
And guess what? There's more schools all around the country that are just like this one. And we haven't been able to say anything. Why? Because if you do say something about it, then you're racist. That's what you're being labeled, being racist, and doing all this kind of stuff.
Hey, where is he from? Is he from like Arkansas or some shit? He said, you're racist. You're racist. Oh, shit. Oh, I gotta hear that again. That's just, hold on, I gotta hear it again.
That is Somali, that is Oromo, and that is English.
And guess what? There's more schools all around the country that are just like this one. And we haven't been able to say anything. Why? Because if you do say something about it, then you're racist. That's what you're being labeled, being racist, and doing all this kind of stuff. And it's like, and then now you have this situation. All right. I mean, what do we do about it? All right, get loud on YouTube about it. I mean, is this one of those situations where we're going to go contact our state house of representatives in our state? What about on a national level? Huh? We need to freaking do something about it. I mean, are you guys tired of this? Are you guys tired of this crap going on and not doing anything about it, and no one's saying anything about it because they're afraid to be called racist, they're afraid to be called a xenophobe or anything like that? Like, here's the deal. It has nothing to do with race, okay? Because if you look at all these companies out of West Chicago, they're all Eastern European. Guess what? They're white. And I'm against all of those. Okay, every single last one of them. Look at this super ego thing right here. This is super ego.
Sad ću ti reći nešto da ne bi hoću da snimam, brate, dokaz hoću da imam. Kad kradeš, kad ovdje uzimate vozačima sve na mailima, kad varaš, kad otimaš, kad dodaješ na takse, kad ukradeš pare. Sad ti ideš sa nama!
Smiri se.
Puco mala!
Smiri se,
sad ćeš vidjeti koliko si mali. Sad ćeš ti vidjeti koliko si mali. Izbjeglice jedna.
Polako, izbjeglica sam, mali sam, smiri se.
Kreni, oblači se, kreni.
See, it's not about race. Those guys are whiter than I am over there at Super Ego. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to promote training. We need to promote English language that's already in the books. Okay, we need to have better quality training. We need United States citizens driving trucks, and we need to get these fly-by-night companies stop hiring these drivers and stop even being companies. When they get shut down, they just open back up another one. They need to stop. Shouldn't be able to do that. Amazon, FedEx, you guys need to do better. You guys do. And there's many other companies that do this, but hey, they're on the spotlight of this video. Okay. I appreciate you guys watching Bonehead Truckers. Please share this video.
All right. So I agree with the second part. I feel like if a person has a green card or naturalization, I mean, it's fine. I'm going to get into why a little bit later after we look at this response video to that video. The second part, I wholeheartedly agree with as far as English. I think you need to, and listen, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I think to work in this country in any job, I think if you work at McDonald's and you are the person that salts the fries, you need to speak English. Nothing grinds my gears more than going into a business and trying to conduct business, whether I'm trying to conduct business where I'm ordering something at a fast food restaurant, or I'm calling a landscaping business to, get my mother's grass serviced for the summer. And I'm trying to conduct business. I'm trying to spend my money, and the person on the other end, or the person that I'm facing and I'm talking to, doesn't speak English. All right, this is America. Now, I get why, people who don't speak English are acquiring work. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. I understand why these individuals are getting trucking jobs. I'm going to get into that a little bit later as well. But my opinion, I believe in order to work in this country, you should be able to speak and read English. I think it should go back to the way it used to. Now, if we go back to that, right, then it's going to hurt people. Why is it going to hurt people? Because there's a lot of jobs, right, that a lot of people don't want to do anymore, and we're going to get into that in a second. All right. So there's a reason this is going on. All right. There's a reason that this shit is going on, and we're going to get to it. But I want to look at this response video because this guy is hilarious. You know, he's not plagiarizing me anymore, right? Because we got him straight. So now he want to talk about other shit. So he want to call bonehead truckers a jackass. Now this is the guy that likes to call grown men the B word on the internet. And now he's calling bonehead trucker a jackass based on the video that we just saw. Now, I agree with bonehead trucker, Mr. CDL Shorty. I agree with bonehead trucker. I think you should speak English. I think you should read English. Now, to me personally, it doesn't matter if you're an American citizen, if you were born here or not, as long as you can read and write English. So if you have a green card, if you have naturalization, as long as you're legally here and you can read and write English, I'm cool. And speak it, I'm cool. Let's see why Mr. CDL Shorty thinks Mr. Bonehead Trucker is a jackass.
What's going on, good people? It's your boy CDL Shorty, and look, I'm back with another video. Check this out. This one is my response video to bonehead truckers. Also, shout out Miss Tasia Wood. I think she does a very good job of providing us with a very, very good informational videos. So shout you out. But check this out.
So I gotta go watch her video because I wonder if he did this video from her, and if he's giving her credit because of the video that I did calling him out for being a plagiarizer. You're a plagiarizer. I'm still waiting on my lawsuit now. CDL Shorty. We waiting. The office of Goldberg is waiting because we gonna countersue your ass. All right? So hopefully he's starting to give credit to content creators if he's going to borrow their content. He's citing his source. So kudos for that. He's learning. But let's see what he has to talk about.
Bonehead truckers, I've had a problem with this man for a while because all he does is make stupid content about drivers that are rookies or really don't speak English that well, that make mistakes. But he doesn't have a problem with these mega carriers that are hiring people that should be working at McDonald's or just came from McDonald's, not giving them proper safety training.
What is it to you who he has an issue with? So you mean to tell me you're mad at him for being mad at who he wants to be mad at? Is that what you just said, Mr. CDL Shorty? You're mad at him for being mad at foreigners. So you're mad that he's not mad at the mega carriers. You want him to be mad who you mad at. Let me make sure I heard that right.
But check this out. Bonehead truckers, I've had a problem with this man for a while because all he does is make stupid content about drivers that are rookies or really don't speak English that well, that make mistakes. But he doesn't have a problem with these mega carriers that are hiring people that should be working at McDonald's or just came from McDonald's, not giving them proper safety training. That's who you need to have a problem with. Also, he has a huge problem with the wreck, the big accident in Austin the other night. I have a problem with that too. But he looks at the person. He follows data. He says he follows data that, guess what? He looks at the person. Can't speak English. Well, what you need to do is you need to have a problem with your current government, past and present. Because guess what? H-2B visas. And in order to have an H-2B visa, guess what? You don't have to speak English. It's not part of the qualification. Arkansas, yeah, they got a problem with it. That's cool. Guess what? Ain't nobody gonna go to Arkansas. They're gonna get the mega carriers to go in and out of there. So trust me, these little shady companies like this that got these visas, they ain't about to deal with Arkansas. But if it does become law, then guess what? It becomes law state to state to state. But it's like saying we have a problem with school shootings. Everybody prays and everybody cries and stuff about school shootings, but then your government makes it more easier and pass legislation to make it more easy.
What the fuck is legislation? What the hell is legislation? Hold on.
They praise and everybody cries and stuff about school shootings, but then your government makes it more easier and pass legislation to make it more easier to get a gun.
What the fuck? Look at this motherfucker, man. This dude, he doing all the antics and he's doing this and then your government passes legislation. Let's watch that again. This dude is fucking, listen, there's never a dull moment. Listen. Check this out. We can always get a good laugh with this fool. We can always get a good laugh with this fool. You are a fool. You are a fool. You sitting up there talking about you running for union president. You sitting up there talking about you running for union president. And you talking about legislation. This y'all union, y'all gonna vote for him for union president? Oh shit, y'all better go find Jimmy Hoffa. Y'all better go find Jimmy. Before you vote for him, y'all need to go find Jimmy. This fool talking about legislation.
School shootings, but then your government makes it more easier and pass legislation to make it more easier to get a gun. It offsets itself. So HB2 visas, let's talk about them. Guess what? This also offsets itself as well because check this out. We can sit here, Arkansas can sit here all day and say they don't accept this and they don't want nobody in their state that don't speak English. Okay, cool. But guess what? Your governments, the whole United States government doesn't care about Arkansas. They trump Arkansas because HB2 visas. Few HB2 visas for foreign workers are given to truck drivers, government data reveals, right? Tens of thousands of H-2B visas are given out each year, but government data reveals that very few of those are used.
Bro, why does he print papers out and hold them up to the camera, bro? Why does he print papers out? This is 2025. Why does he go to truck stops and pre-prints papers to hold them up to the screen? Don't you know this is 2025 and we can just share our screen and shit like that, bro? Listen, I haven't bought an ink cartridge in about 6 years. Listen, I ain't had no reason to buy no ink cartridge in about 6 years. We airdropping shit around this motherfucker nowadays. We just gonna airdrop you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna email you. This man is printing out papers. Every day he's printing out a paper, putting it up to the goddamn screen like we can read this little bitty ass shit. Can't nobody see that shit? We can't see it. Hold on, let me blow this shit up. Let me blow this. Can we blow it up? We can't even blow this shit up. This
used to hire foreign truck drivers. In November, the Department of Homeland Security made an additional 64,000 H-2B visas available for fiscal year 2025. This is on top of the 66,000 temporary non-agricultural workers visas that Congress mandates each fiscal year. DHS has authorized an additional.
He can't read. He can't read. Each fiscal year, that says fiscal. Then he said non-ag. Hold on.
visas available for fiscal year 2025. This is on top of the 6 Trump, Arkansas, because tens of thousands of H-2B visas are given out each year, but government data reveals that very few of those are used to hire foreign truck drivers. In November, the Department of Homeland Security made an additional 64,000 H-2B visas available for fiscal year 2025. This is on top of the 66,000 temporary non-agricultural workers visas that Congress mandates each fiscal year. DHS has authorized an additional HB2 visas every year since at least 2017, except for 2020. Although H-2B visas can be allocated to truck drivers, numbers from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services show that a very small portion. All right, they say 3.5%, right? But look at this. You don't have to speak English. So guess what? It's so 1,400 truckers out there that are here on the HB2 visa for temporary work, usually during the peak season or whatnot. We all know it's very popular down on the borders. And up in Canada on the border as well too. But guess what though? That's 14,000 or 1,400 too many. Out of 64,000, yes, that is a small number, but there's still 1,400 too many truckers that can't speak English that are coming down here helping out the economy. Let's go in more. It says in 2020, more than 1,400 H-2B visas were given to truck drivers to the trucking industry.
This motherfucker Google this motherfucker Google H2B. Look, y'all see the Google shit right here? He Googled this shit and printed out Google. The motherfucker Googled it and printed out Google. This is literally Google.
For transportation and material moving occupations. However, truck drivers accounted for only a small fraction of the total H-2B visas.
This is Google. You go YouTube videos. He Googled related searches for HB2 visas. And this is the AI. This is what the AI spit out. And then here are the links.
This is available. This is who you need to have a problem with, sir. The companies. Look what the company's qualifications are. To hire an H-2B visa driver, a trucking company needs to establish a shortage of U.S. workers for the position. Prove that employing an H-2B worker won't impact U.S. workers' working conditions or wages. Show that the position is temporary, no longer than 10 months. The employer must also apply for labor certification from the Department of Labor and a petition USCIS for approval to hire a specific number of workers under the H-2B visa classifications. Nowhere in it does it say that that truck driver coming over here to work for that company, they have to speak English. That's who you need to have a problem with, sir. H-2B, Employer Data Hub, right? Look at it. Transportation warehouse companies with the most visas include Great Falls, Mountain-Based Transport, Leasing Company, 145 visas. And so far for the half fiscal year, only about 400 HB2 visas have been allocated to transportation and material moving occupations at more than a dozen transportation companies. Bonehead trucker, you're a jackass. And you need to do your research. Stop making foreigners the scapegoat. Everybody does that, but when we gonna talk about the government and the H-2B visas and these EB-3 visas? When we gonna get down to it? They cut jobs, they say there's a truck driver shortage, which is a lie, and then they bring other people over here and don't care if they speak English or not. Stop making foreigners the scapegoat.
Oh my God. Oh God. So let's have a quick conversation, and then I'm gonna get out of here because here's what I think. Here's what I think. The reason why companies can get away with it because one, they can prove that it's a need for it, right? That's part of the requirements. Proving that there is a need for them to outsource or reach out and find drivers outside the US because they're not able to find drivers in the US. Now, here's a fact, all right? And I'm not talking about a trucker shortage. I'm not getting into that. Here's what I do know. For every 6 boomers that are coming out of the system, only 2 Gen Z are replacing those seats. What I do know is that the younger generation is not looking at trucking. They're not looking at becoming an electrician. They're not looking at becoming a plumber. They're not looking at becoming a mechanic. They're not looking at becoming a carpenter. They're not looking at becoming an HVAC worker. They're not looking at becoming a construction worker. They're not looking at anything that jeopardizes their quality of life. That I do know. What I also know is that these foreigners, they have lower wage expectations. They come from other countries, and the pay is very, very, very attractive. As a result, these companies exploit them. Now, we know that companies' ultimate goal is to make money. We know this. And we know that some of these companies are going to always do what's in their best interest. And if they can get someone to work for a fraction of the cost than paying an American driver, which we know Americans now want a lot more, higher wages because the cost of living is a lot higher. We also know that the cost to operate and run a business is a lot higher. We also know, and this is the truth, some people ain't gonna like it, but it is what it is. It's the truth. We also know that the profit margins are a lot smaller than what they used to be. So companies are gonna do what they have to do to survive. Is it right? No, it's not right. But you're gonna have some people that's gonna do what they gotta do. You dig what I'm saying? These H2, B2, and then you also got the TN for Canada and Mexico, which is under the NAFTA agreement, allows foreign drivers to come in and drive legally. So they're utilizing what the government has put out there. I think all this is done by design. I kind of agree with CDL Shorty a little bit. A little bit. Not much. It's hard to agree with CDL Shorty. It's hard to agree with him, but I agree with him a little bit. But then we have to look at the bigger picture. We got to look at the bigger picture. If we look at trucking 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and then compare it to now, people that have been around that long, you see it's different. All right. Now look at the direction it's going from the past 30 years, 20 years, and then look at it another 10 years down the line. All right. We know one thing. I'm 45. All right. I've seen the cost of living continue to rise. All right. The cost of living is outpacing wages by far. Listen, that gap has gotten I'm talking about it's wide. It's only going to continue to get wider. The truth of the matter is, and some people ain't going to like this, but I like to live in reality. Somebody got to fill these seats. The powers that be know as time goes on, this job is going to be less desirable for Americans. It's not desirable for Americans now. It's not desire. Listen, you talk to a guy from a box truck space talk about OTR, they think it's cool until they get out there and then they want to come home. Same thing with the new generation of truckers that's starting to come out over the road. It's not something that they want to do. They can't even stay off their phone long enough to drive a 3-4 hour stretch. So yes, it's the government's fault. But let's be honest here. Trucking falls into the same category as electricians, plumbing, HVAC, welding, construction, carpentry. The generations that looked at trucking as an industry that could provide a comfortable living, at one point it could, are dying off. They're not even retiring. They can't afford to retire. They're dying off. And the new generation isn't filling those seats. It's just not. It's not desirable. It's not desirable now, and it's not going to be desirable 10 years from now. It's just not. So while everybody's running around saying it's the immigrants, it's the government, the fact of the matter is this shit is being done purposely because the powers that be know shit's got to get done and Americans don't want to do it. Facts. It's not just in trucking. It's in fast food. It's in a lot of service industries that are labor-based as far as like hard, intensive labor, roofing, moving. I've seen the construction industry turn from, I remember when I was a kid, you driving on the highway or you driving down the street and you see a construction project, it looked like white bikers. Everybody that was on construction sites in the 80s and the 90s when I was a kid, it looked like white bikers. They were big burly white guys with tattoos on their arms. People weren't doing the neck and face tattoos back then. With bald heads, they look like white bikers. Now, you drive past a construction site, predominantly Hispanic. So you can't even pinpoint it, oh, it's a black thing, it's a white thing. No, it's an American thing. Doesn't matter the culture or the ethnicity. Americans just don't want to do certain jobs anymore. But at the end of the day, the shit still needs to get done. Now, is it right? No. Is it right for these companies to do what they're doing? No. But shit got to get done. So the country is looking at the shit the same way the business owners that are taking advantage of these programs are looking at it. Now, I know some people are going to disagree with it. I know some people are going to watch this, and CDO Shorty's going to watch this, and he's going to want to blame it on the government. But at the end of the day, I just watch the government let millions of people cross the border. Now, we can all throw our reasons out why the Biden administration opened the borders. And I think it's a multitude of reasons. And I think one of the reasons was for labor force. Because a lot of those migrants that ICE is looking for didn't have problem getting jobs. We watch ICE go into warehouses and round up dozens of migrants. So if illegals are crossing the border and they're sourcing employment, what does that tell you? So out of all the reasons that the Biden administration opened the borders, I know for sure that one of those reasons, because I think it's a multitude of reasons, I know for sure one of those reasons was to increase the labor force. To fill in all the jobs that Americans no longer want to do. We have Americans that would rather fucking live van life than go work a job. There's Americans, they will tell you, I'd rather live in a van than go work. Daniel said it. Mark, how can you get mad at people for finding a way to live without having to go work a job? So there's people that are willing to live in a fucking van, and these are American citizens. And they fit the age demographic that should be filling these entry level and these labor intensive jobs. It fits the demographic, the age demographic that once filled these jobs. So if you're running a business, and I know this is not the popular answer, but I like to look at things from a realistic point of view. It's not going to be the popular answer. But if you're running a business that's trying to survive and you're lacking workforce, you're running a business that is no longer a desirable, you're running a business in an industry that's no longer desirable. You got a few options. I'm not going to go through those options, but what I will tell you is that some people are going to be willing to take a chance. Now, you look at it from the country's perspective. You got a country to run. You have an economy to uphold, production, manufacturing. Running a business, you have to make tough decisions. It's not going to always be favorable decisions. America is a business. America is a business. And see, people don't look at it like that. The way I look at the country is the way they look at the country. This country is a fucking business. And the higher ups, not the people that you see, the people that really call the shots are making decisions. And they're going to make the best decisions to keep this fucking business going. You don't want to do what we need you to do? We're going to find somebody that will. And guess what? We got the power to break laws right in front of your face and not tell you why we're doing it. I'm not going to sit around the internet and say, oh, it's the migrants, oh, it's the immigrants, oh, it's the fucking the government. This fucking country is a business. What you won't do, somebody else will. See, this is how we know CDL Shorty ain't never ran no business. He's a company driver. Now, I agree with some of the shit he said, but he's looking at this shit wrong. I'm not finna run around at truck stops saying this goofy shit. Let's get to the root of it. Shit gotta get done one way or another. Shit's gotta get done. It ain't right. So what? We need the economy to keep thriving. We need it to keep growing. We need to produce. We need to manufacture so we can make money. Period. Now, you can get mad. You can say, Mark, you bogus. But that's the truth of the matter. 45 years, I've never seen shit get better. I've only seen the shit get worse. Stop paying attention to what people say and start paying attention to what people do. And then you will stay ahead. Stop paying attention to what people say and start paying attention to what people do. It is what it is. If Americans don't want to do these jobs now, they're only going to be lazier 10 years from now. And that gap is going to continue to go like this. So you got people that don't want to do these jobs because they're no longer desirable. And then you have people that don't want to do them because they're not going to make enough. Their wages aren't going to pay them enough to keep up with the cost of living. And people don't want to go out and work 2 and 3 jobs so that they can keep up with the cost of living. Because people just aren't that hungry anymore. So the same reason they open the borders is the same reason that they have the H-2B and they have the TN and they have loopholes so that companies can hire immigrants and migrants, put them behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler legally, even though they're illegal. Because here in the state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker told the migrants, go on down to the ZMV July 1st, 2024, and get you a driver's license. So illegal migrants could go to the Illinois DMV. Cassius, I know you in here. but it is what it is. JB sent them down there to the DMV, and now we got migrants doing DoorDash. You got migrants doing Walmart Spark, and then you wonder why the market is saturated to all the giggers out there, because you have illegals taking your work. Half of y'all didn't want to do the shit no way. It's definitely agenda. You got fucking Eric Adams and Brandon Johnson sitting in front of the house just dumbfounded. Ain't no way Brandon Johnson is doing what he's doing if somebody didn't give him an agenda and promise him some shit. And I can speak on it because I live in a sanctuary. I live in Chicago. I'm paying for these motherfuckers. The shit that I see here with this fucking migrant shit is ridiculous. And he just sitting in front of the fucking Congress just sweating bullets. Because he was told what to say and what not to say. Ain't no way that man is that fucking stupid that he's going to sit up here and protect illegals unless the Democratic Party told him, listen, this what you do, this what you say. Don't say nothing else that we don't tell you to say. Shut your ass up. And you going to be fine. Ain't no way. I don't think that man is that stupid. I don't think he that stupid. I don't like him, but I don't think he that stupid. It's an agenda. And I understand why there's an agenda. The average truck driver in the U.S. is 50 plus years old. When I listen to Bonehead, I listen to CDL Shorty's response, and now I'm making a response. The average trucker is 50 plus years old. So out of all the truckers, million plus, the average is 50 plus years old. So what does that tell you? And if every 6 that are exiting, whether they're retiring, which a lot are retiring, they're just dying, only 2 of the younger generations are replacing those seats. So as 6 come out, it's only being replaced by 2. It's not desirable. Only a fool can't see that. So here's what you got to understand about being a business owner. You have to look at the country like a business. You have to be able to forecast. Now, this is something that we've done very successfully on this channel. And I'm doing it now. I'm telling you what they're not telling you because they don't know this shit. And if they knew it, they'd probably not be inclined to tell you this because this is tough. Look at where shit is now. It's not going to get better. It's going to continue to get worse. Americans are going to continue to get lazy. The gap of wages and cost of living is going to continue to spread. It's going to continue to get wider. Shit will never go back to the way it used to be. You're going to have to find a way to make more money so that you can keep up with the cost of living, which is going to be harder and harder for people to do because we've seen it happen over the course. Well, I've seen it happen over the course of the past 4.5 decades since I can remember. So in another 10 years, this industry is not going to it's not going to get back desirable. You got technology now that plays an integral part in people's day-to-day life, and we know who utilizes technology more than anybody and it stays glued to them is the younger generation. Their social lifestyle is very important to them, and trucking is a detriment to that. I'm not saying that some young people aren't interested in trucking. Yeah, there are some young people that are interested in trucking, but as the 50 plus majority that the 50-year-olds plus that are the majority of trucking, because that's the average age, 50 plus, start to die off over the course of the next 10 to 15 years, those seats have to get replaced. Automation will probably replace some. This is why I think they're working vehemently to, get autonomous trucks, approved and, out on the road more. But it's not going to replace the whole industry. It's just not. It's going to probably be a minute percentage because you have to look at markets that have inclement weather. I just don't see an autonomous truck riding up 94 in Minnesota in December. I just don't see it. Snow, ice, those sensors, those sensors get covered with salt and ice. They're going to be going haywire. Markets like Arizona, California, Texas, yeah. But up north, no. America is a business, and the powers that be are forecasting. They're seeing what I'm telling you right now. Only a fool can't see it. So they're doing what they need to do to make sure things continue to go the way that they need it to go. And they're doing it right in front of your face. They're breaking laws. The laws that they made to protect this country, to bring people in to fulfill these roles. So even though both of these people were right, they're still wrong. He was right to say, hey, you're looking at it wrong. It's the government. And he's right, it is the government. And they're doing it purposely for the reasons that I'm telling you. The same reason they did a bunch of shit that got out. The same reason they introduced crack in the 80s. The same reason they did what they did a few years ago. I'm not going to go into specifics. The same thing they did in 2000, and you dig what I'm saying. I'm not going to give the specific date. All this stuff is done by design. And they're doing it right in front of your face. It's about profitability and it's about control. Profitability and control. America is a business. Period. What you won't do, we'll find somebody else that will. And we don't have to change the laws to make it legal for us to do it. We're just going to do it. And that's it. This shit ain't hard. Shit ain't hard. And that's my take. Some people gonna not like it. Some people gonna disagree. And the people that don't like and the people that disagree, come back and holler at me in 10 years. Clearly, you're not old enough to see what I've seen in the past 45 years. I watched industries other than trucking change. I've looked at industries go from pale to tan. I looked at industries go from American to non-American, to the point where they so non-American, they don't even speak English. And then I look at the younger generation of today that would do a lot of these jobs, and they're too busy fucking trying to be TikTokers and fucking van life and all this goofy shit. They not trying to fucking put their hand in no toilet. They not trying to put their hood under a car. They not trying to learn how to solder a piece of fucking metal or steel. They not trying to learn how to fucking build a wall, putting the studs 16 inches apart. They not trying to learn HVAC, heating and cooling. They not trying to do none of that shit, including trucking. You see it because you talk about it. I see it because I see it and I talk about it. So you think they don't see the shit? This is their business and they have to forecast and make sure it runs. It's just like I told somebody, messaged me today and said, man, I remember 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, you said what was going to happen with Amazon. You said they was going to start phasing out Relay. I never forget you said that, and I've just watched it come into fruition. Only a fool couldn't see that. It's business. Companies are going to do what's in the best interest of their business. A good business person is going to do what's in the best interest of their business, whether you like it or not. Goes back to what I said again, reiterate. America is a business. You look at it as a country. I look at it as a business. The powers that be look at it as a business. When we import and export, we're doing business. The reason Trump is putting tariffs, we're handling business. America is a business. More so than it is a country. Now, if anybody wants to debate me, you know where to find me. It's going to be a hard debate. I'm out.